So I am going to go to a fan email. I'm the guitarist slash singer slash harmonica player and love what I do. However, my big question to you guys is,
Here it is.
suspense is killing me.
Big questions.
Where do you find accurate tabs, chord charts when you choose a song? I go to Ultimate Guitar or other internet resources, but they're hardly ever 100%, and sometimes they are straight up terrible. That makes it hard for me to learn a tune on my own. It's such a simple thing, but straight up, I don't know what my options are. Is it worth it to sign up for a paid subscription service? If so, which one? Before I started doing things more by ear, I would learn a song based on the highest rated tab on Ultimate Guitar, then head to rehearsal, confident in my new ability, only to find out it was just wrong enough to be useless and detrimental. Thanks for any help you can provide. Rock on. Best regards. So, I guess we could talk about a couple of specific things, but I think the best place to start is Dan, how do you learn songs?
Well, bad news. For the most part, I learn them from Ultimate Guitar. And
so, yeah,
it is true that a lot of them are hot trash on Ultimate Guitar. If you want precision, if you want accuracy, but the best I have ever found is a songbook, a printed, written songbook, often dedicated to a particular artist. And you go to the music store. You find them on a rack at the music store. And somebody's actually sat down and really written them out. And a lot of times those are very, very accurate. I'm not going to spend that kind of money or time.
Not unless you're doing like a full-on tribute and like wanted to.
And
get
then you
it,
might.
Like,
then you might.
Yeah.
Here's the beauty of hot garbage lead sheets from Ultimate Guitar. It's really great ear training.
Yeah.
Because you got to know that what you're getting there is questionable, and you have to sit down with the original. You cannot, as you know, I've certainly experienced it too, where you think you have it because the chart that you got says this, but man, they transposed it and didn't tell you, or they dropped out some of the colorful chords, or, it's like the cheap version with cowboy chords rather than the interesting things, or whatever. First of all, hearing that difference is an important piece of growth as a musician.
Yes.
And, I think if you can think of that as an opportunity rather than a liability, that's probably your best bet. So, if you factor in time and money, in my mind, that's certainly your best bet. How about you? What do you do?
So I've got a couple of things that I typically dig into. First of all, I've had this for a couple of years, so I don't know if it's the case or not, but I pay for the annual Ultimate Guitar membership that lets you use like their app and pull stuff up on the fly and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I find that for lots of songs that are very, very popular, they have what they call official like tabs and charts.
Yes, that are done by them professionally.
Yes.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
I have found those. I found those to be very useful.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of pieced out. So like if there's two guitar parts, there's two guitar parts there. That's definitely, it's the closest thing to the thing you're already doing.
Yep.
And like that membership isn't, I think it terribly expensive. And, if you do any sort of work that gives you tips, you could easily pay for it in like a single gig.
Sure.
So I'm a fan of that.
I actually bought a lifetime membership on that sometime back. They were running a deal, and I just bought it, and it got rid of all the ads and all the things people complain about it, and so worth it.
Sweet. So there's that. Another one that I use a lot is karaoke version.
Yeah. So
if you go and you buy a track with the custom backing tracks that you can get at Karaoke Version, you can mix them however you want to. So, and this is something that I've talked about with our musicians, trying to kind of figure out best ways to help them prep. What I have done is I have a Google Drive that has learn files for all of the positions in the band. So what I do is I'll go in and I'll mix a version that has everything turned down to like 10%, but the bass is turned all the way up. And then I bounce that and call that, Jesse's Girl bass learn. And then I'll do the same thing for guitar. And if there are guitar parts, maybe I'll pan them hard left, hard right, so you can kind of hear them, kind of be able to pick them out. And again, you're using ear training, but you're using ear training kind of like on steroids, because you don't have to be quite as critical because we're getting rid of all the extra noise.
Yep.
So I do that a lot depending on, the dynamic. Like if it's for members only, I definitely do that because I want to make sure that what I'm playing is me staying in my own lane and not stepping on the other guitar player's toes. Beyond that, I use YouTube a lot because At least for the line of music that I'm in, there are lots of guitar tutorials for those particular songs.
Yeah. And a lot of those a lot of those YouTube teachers show you very authentic positions and voicings, and they pretty much do it as it was recorded. A lot of them. So
if you're into 80s guitar at all, you need to check out Ben Eller. He refers to himself as Uncle Ben, but like he will dig into a song, like dig into it.
Cool.
That's pretty much it. Otherwise, I'm just listening to the song and like picking it out myself.
Yeah. I mean, the temptation with all of these resources out there in the world is to be lazy and just download it. And I think I can probably do that one time in 5, maybe. But the rest I have to doctor a little bit. I have to fix. I can hear that they're not writing that sus2 that's really in there, or something. That's the most common thing I hear is simplification of chords that just take away from the quality of the thing. Sometimes it's just dead wrong. Sometimes it's you find things in there that are upvoted up high with wrong chords, just wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, the community's so large, like it's very easy for that to kind of be the case. I feel like a lot of these are like kids in their bedrooms listening to the songs really loud and like just playing along with it, be like, this is it.
Yeah. I can't hear myself over the album, but I'm probably close. Yeah. I built a chart and put it up there. Did I tell you that?
Yes, I think you did.
I did. It was just a gigolo.
It was a big...
And I was pretty thorough about it, and it keeps getting 5-star votes. So
there you go. Good. And that's another great thing. If you've got some spare time and you want to contribute to that community, because it is community driven, make your own.
Totally.
And on another note, there's another one that I've used. I don't use them quite as much anymore because I feel like they've kind of fallen out of favor. But Guitar Pro files, where you download like Tux Guitar Pro, and like it's the same kind of idea as the official ones where they break them out into individual spots. And I still have a cache of them somewhere on like my iCloud drive that I could fire up if I really wanted to dig into something. Like if I really wanted to learn Holy War by Megadeth, I know that's definitely
sure. And I say lazy. We're all lazy. Laziness is a virtue on a certain level.
Well,
I don't want to.
You can call it laziness. You can call it a quest for efficiency.
Totally. Yeah.
Because like that's what it is. It's the maximizing the efficiency of my time versus the time that I have available. Right. So you can call it lazy. You can call it, half-assery. Whatever. Like that's basically what it is.
I wouldn't, but the point is that, you
wouldn't call it
half-assery. The point is that it's as a musician, you grow when you learn songs. When I was first taking guitar lessons, my teacher had a bunch of lead sheets in a folder, and he'd bring out copies, and that's how I learned More Than a Feeling, and just a bunch of Wrapped Around Your Finger came off of paper that he handed me back in 1980. I won't say what, but we'd also I'd come in with songs I wanted to learn, and we would sit down and pick them out together, and like learning how to hear those chords and learning how to follow the bass and when the bass is doing some figure and when it's actually stating the chord. It's all really important to learn. So, I would dedicate a little time to that. I think it's important.
Yeah. I mean, when I was teaching, that was one thing that I did is, if you wanted to learn a song, my kind of like process went like this. You had to learn all of your major chords and all your minor chords. So A, B, C, D, F, G, major and minor. And then we would start learning songs. And what you do, at least, for younger players who are just kind of getting a feel for it, you have to keep it interesting. You want to kind of propel them to continue to pick the instrument up. Yep. And what happens is that you get these opportunities when you're teaching teaching songs to these kids that you sneak the theory in. Like, oh, do you want to know why this sounds cool?
Yeah.
Well, it's because of this, this, and this.
Or boy, look at what that chord's doing right there. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Well, what?
Isn't it cool how it makes you like how it kind of tenses up and then it then it resolves itself. What is that all about? Like, what does a 7 do in a chord?
Oh, look, we're following the circle of fifths with this thing. Look at that.
Ooh. So yeah, I hope that I think that covers most of it. I can't think of any other ways other than just asking people, hey, how did you do that?
Right.
How do you do that?